Hey, we're Paige and Alex, co-op students at Goose Digital. Week 7, and this one felt different.
Both tools went in front of our supervisors and the people who would actually be coordinating how they get used, not just a controlled demo. But here's what we built, and what do you think?
Feedback from people who know the workflow the tool is supposed to fit into hits differently than feedback from someone seeing it cold. They're not just evaluating what it does, they're evaluating whether it fits where it needs to go.
And here's what we did with it. Getting feedback on something you've built is a strange experience. You know, it's how the product gets better. Even so, hearing that something feels generic after spending days on it is never easy. That was exactly where we found ourselves. The sites worked well technically, clean, responsive, well structured, but the problem was they all had the same feel. I was giving Claude prompts like corporate and trustworthy and expecting it to understand what made each business unique. Without enough context, it defaulted to the safest answer. So we changed the process instead of expecting better results from the same prompts. The tool now generates real design components before a page is built: typography, buttons, cards, spacing. We added a messaging step so the client's positioning is defined before any copy is written. Competitor analysis gives the AI more context about what already exists and how the new site should stand apart. And one of the most useful additions that came from feedback was that every brief is now scored across messaging, branding, goals, design, pages, forms, and analytics before it can even be exported. Missing information gets flagged so that everyone knows exactly what still needs work. We also added a style preview that renders every design direction using the client's own colors and fonts, so you can choose the right direction before anything is generated. A lot of things were removed, a lot of things were added in the submission form, but overall, after feedback, it has been generated into a lot more straightforward and a lot more clear cut on how much the client needs to be filled and how much information the client has not filled yet. The biggest lesson was that the feedback usually exposes assumptions, but not failures. Every time something felt off, it pointed to the information the AI should have been given instead of being expected to guess. Fixing those gaps improved the tool far more than rewriting prompts ever did.
A lot of this week was polish, but polish with clearer direction than before. The feedback made something obvious that's easy to miss when you're deep in the build. A tool built by the people using it will always have blind spots. Features that need explanation stop feeling like they need explanation when you're the one who built them. Interactions that are confusing become invisible when you already know what they do. Seeing someone else use it and see it surfaces that immediately. The UI got pretty messy, as throughout production, things kept getting added and added, but they were never taken away and rarely reworked. It can make it look a lot more intimidating than it is in use. So the focus was on making the tool make sense to someone who wasn't there for the build. Their brand kit got restructured into a tabbed layout. Everything has a logical home now and isn't competing for space. Asset management has proper categories: search, the ability to organize things the way a real brand workflow would, not the way it happened to get built. A handful of bugs that had been tolerable internally got prioritized because they wouldn't be tolerable for someone using the tool for the first time. Multi-select behavior, font loading delays, icon rendering. Small things that add up to a tool that feels unfinished when you hit them without context. And maybe you know what to do when a certain bug comes up, but a user really wouldn't. And a user guide is being built directly into the system. Prompting advice, system guidelines, the things that currently live in our heads. The goal is that someone can pick this up without needing us in the room. Most of the feedback wasn't about what was broken. It was about what the tool could become. Use cases, features worth adding, directions worth exploring. That's a good place to be at the halfway mark. Moving forward, we will continue to clean up the build and think about how the tool will look different visually depending on the user, and continue to brainstorm integration, backend, and what new pages we will need in order to take it from just the tool to an actual multi-user system.
Feedback week and integration week are landing at the same time, which is convenient. Both tools have a clear sense of direction now, and the next question is how they actually fit into the way Goose Digital works.
That means drafting workflows, not building them yet, mapping them. Where does the tool enter the process? Where does a human take over? What needs to exist in between?
Oh, the brand intelligence schema both tools share is the connective tissue. Getting that integration right is what determines whether these stay as standalone tools or become something that is actually embedded in the day to day.
The second half has a shape now. Polish, integrate, test with real clients, figure out what production actually looks like.
See you
See you
next
See you
next
next
week.
week.
week.